Howdy, everybody. Welcome to another episode of It Came from Facebook. In today's episode, we're looking at nothing but Yamaha motorcycles. We talked about how Suzuki people have their bikes kind of clapped, Kawasaki people are the most chaotic, and Honda people are the most patrician, well-kept motorcycles. I think Yamaha people may be the squidliest, reasonably well-kept, and kind of in the middle of all of those three. It's hard to pin down a Yamaha owner other than the fact that they enjoy squid behavior and typically a lot of power. Let's get into it, shall we? First up, we have a 1985 Yamaha VMAX for $4,500. This gentleman says is 28,000 miles, fully restored, runs and rides great. All right, not a lot of info on a 40-year-old motorcycle. Let's take a look. Ooh, wow. What, has he got Chinesium levers on it? Why? No! Why are those on there? Oh my God. Get those off of there immediately. Get some classic, just silver, aluminum, or chrome. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. Anyways, let's take a look at the rest of the package. We have a different exhaust system from stock. That's pretty cool. I bet this thing sounds nasty. Big old V4, V-boost over here. That looks like just a crown jewel of an engine, does it not? Oh my God. Man. Bikes like this do not come up for sale very often. This is a really nice example of a VMAX, and I agree with the gentleman. Yeah, fully restored sounds about right. I cannot believe he did this, though. The tops of the brake res and clutch res, because I think this has a hydraulic clutch, and the levers are all like Chinesium yellow. Oh, that's so bad. What a terrible thing to do to a perfectly good VMAX. Black would have been fine. If you just did black, would have been great. Why are these yellow? That's just a matter of personal taste, of which we cannot discuss. But what I can discuss is, look how clean all of this is. Oh my God, it looks so good. It looks brand freaking new. That looks amazing. Look at the radiator guard at the skulls. All right, typically, I would say, oh, that's so cheeseball. Why do they have that on there? But honestly, a beautiful, pristine 40-year-old VMAX. Why wouldn't it have a skull on it? You know, at least one good skull. Come on, it's a drag bike from the 80s. Like, when I look at an old VMAX, I immediately just start hearing Pantera, Metallica. I just hear the good stuff. Old school thrash metal. Like, that's all I can hear when I see a Yamaha VMAX. It's just awesome. Air intake over here going into the motorcycle. These just have a mean stance, dude. Classic, old school drag bike built for doing nothing but going straight. We did a really cool video on this one. We had a gentleman come through that had the original VMAX and the new VMAX. It's not new anymore, but the new old VMAX. We rode them back to back, side by side. That was an amazing day. Really cool experience to do both VMAXs. You can really feel in the old one the spiritual successor in that new VMAX, really taking the baton and carrying forward that beautiful thing that the VMAX always did, which was just rip ass in a straight line. I love these bikes. They're really cool. This is one of the best kept examples. Honestly, this guy could probably get more money for this bike. $4,500 is really cheap. You could probably get at least 7 or 8 for this. To the right buyer, you know? To the right VMAX buyer, this is certainly worth at least 7 or 8. But this is what I mentioned in a previous video where at some point, the bikes are so old and the condition between them are so different that it becomes hard to create comparable sales, right? It becomes difficult to measure one bike versus the other bike. So this one, I'm going to rate a solid 9.5 out of 10. Keep it moving. 2017 Yamaha R6. Oh boy, $13,000. Oh, come on. What are we talking about? Purchased in September 2023, 18,000 miles. Yamaha discontinued the R6, so they're going to become rare to find. Super sport bike, blah, 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 titanium valves. Oh my God, I hate R6 people, dude. Key updates including full LED system, blah, 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 Yoshimura slip-on, ASV levers, and Rizoma stealth mirrors. I'm starting to get to the point where I just want to hurl R6 people off a bridge. Your bike is not worth $13,000. This bike, brand new, when it was launched, was $12,199, if memory serves me correctly. That was the brand new price for these. I do not care that Yamaha doesn't make them anymore. This bike is not worth $13,000. And the only way we're going to push back against these morons putting up their 18,000 mile R6s for a grand more than it was brand spanking new is by not buying them. If you are considering buying an R6, do not spend $13,000 on an old R6. You got to be out of your mind. Just get a brand new R9. It's like 50% better bike than an old R6. The experience is not worth that kind of money. They're not that special. They're just like a Japanese 600. Literally, if you want the Japanese 600 experience, just get a ZX6. Get a brand new ZX6. It's going to be the same as an R6. Is it going to be exactly the same? No, it won't be exactly the same, but oh my God, it doesn't matter. This is ridiculous. This guy's talking about it like he bought some kind of investment in September 23, and he's like, it has titanium valves. Shut up, dude. I cannot stand R6 people who are listing their bikes for absurd money. Just, you know what we got to do? We got to do just like we're doing in the real estate market. Boomers are putting their houses up for sale. They're like, there's a $1.2 million ranch house in the middle of nowhere. And we're like, no, it's not. And then it gets price cut, price cut, price cut, price cut until it actually sells for like $620, which it actually isn't even worth that much in the first place anyways. So this R6, I hope it sells for like $8,000 because that's actually what it's worth. It's only worth about like 80, like at most like $8,500. It's a nice looking bike. It has 18,000 miles on it. It is not worth that kind of money. Let's just move on. All right, a wild card, a large whiteboard for $40. Must pick up this week. Telescopic legs that disassemble for easy transport. Hey, that's nicer than our whiteboard. Not budget on price. I did not know how expensive these things were. It comes with the red, black, and blue markers. That's a nice feature. You don't see those that often on whiteboards. All work comes with tabs and eraser. Let's take a look. Beautiful. Beautiful. The whiteboard over here at Yamadube HQ has been the MVP of our facilities. Our Monday videos that go live with me and Logan and the ranked uploads have a nice whiteboard in the background. And look at that cute little pup underneath the whiteboard. How sweet. We're going to rate this one. I mean, that's a good deal for the whiteboard. We're going to rate it a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Beautiful. All right, 2015 Yamaha FJ09, $4,200. 2015 FJ09, hard luggage included, 2 owners, 35,000 miles, full synthetic oil change and premium gas only put in, clean title. I would hope so. It's been a while since you bought that bike or whoever bought that bike. Dropped once by me while standing still. Crash bars absorbed all of it. That's nice for you to disclose. Crash bars, flashed ECU, titanium, a Krapovic exhaust, has been regularly serviced, oil change within the last 200 miles. New tires were put on about 7 months ago. Still plenty of tread. Let's take a look. Okay, so FJ09. This was Yamaha's touring option on the original FZ09 platform, as it was known here in America back in 2013. They made an upright touring version of the bike. Now, it's very different from the new Tracer 9 GT that you would get. You see, this is a bit smaller. This is actually using what looks to be a very similar gas tank shape to the MT09, the FZ09 as it was known back then. And it's a smaller bike, more of a tall rounder sort of bike rather than a sport touring bike like the Tracer 9 GT is. It's much smaller, much more simple, featuring the 847cc CP3, not the new 890 motor. This is the old 847. Still plenty of torque, still plenty of get up and go, but just not that, old school vibe. So I don't remember. I think these have the exact same geometry as the MT09. FZ09 as was known back then. Same frame I'm actually seeing here. A little bit taller suspension. The extender on the handlebars itself. Oh man, it looks a little beat up over here, right over here. So maybe you can wash that off a little bit. This bike just looks like this guy took photos of it right as it was wet and washed. I don't think it looks quite that good up close. I don't know why he didn't let it dry. The plate's kind of bent over here. It's kind of beat up a little bit. This had the old double LCD dash that they used to do. It was a really weird setup on these. But yeah, so you don't have bark busters. You don't have much wind protection. This is just like an MT09 that's kind of a little bit more upright and comfortable. I think Yamaha was a bit confused when they made this motorcycle. I don't think it's lived up to the test of time, and it's certainly not very desirable, I wouldn't say, especially because the new Tracer 9 GTs they're just a lot better in every single way. $4,200 for this is reasonably fair. It's got a lot of miles. The 847cc triple is basically unkillable, though. You're not going to do anything to that motor as long as you change the valves, and maybe if you don't change the valves, like I've seen these go for like 80, 90, 100,000 miles, no problem at all. But yeah, I don't think the FJ09's that sought after. This one's a bit beat up. I'm going to rate this one a 5 out of 10. Keep it moving. 1985 Yamaha RZ350, $13,000, 6,600 miles, clean title, running great, 24 years with me, make an offer. Let's take a look. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous machine. If you don't know much about these, you are about to join me as I don't know much about them. This is a 40-year-old motorcycle, RZ350, two-stroke. You can see by the expansion chamber in the engine right over here. As far as I know, these were sort of race replica two-strokes from back in the day. They weren't the same as the, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the RD500s were the race V4 copycat bikes from the GP bikes back in the day, sort of like, this was more of the street offering. You can tell by the seat and then the handlebars, but I think still semi-race derived. I think this was an update to the old RD350s. I don't know what the RZ moniker stands for in that 350, but very interesting bike, right? Like old school two-strokes are really quite interesting. I think this was signed by King Kenny himself. I don't know whose signature that is, but I see a K and then a Y. I think that's Kenny Roberts' signature. That's pretty cool. If you guys don't know, King Kenny rode for Yamaha back in the day. Speed block colorway, pretty sweet as well. Look at that tiny little tire over here. Definitely a time capsule motorcycle. Definitely something for a collector, some sort of vintage enthusiast. A 40-year-old two-stroke motorcycle is going to have all kinds of weird things that are going to come up with it that I certainly would not want to take on. That's not a project that I would want to take on. I've never owned a two-stroke. I don't know much about them. I would have a humongous learning curve with a motorcycle like this to just kind of keep it running, make sure it goes okay. I'm sure there's lots of little things that'll break and change on it. Very clean for what it is. And what does he want for it? $13,000? This, again, it goes up into the VMAX thing where you're like, no, I don't really know what this is supposed to be worth. The only way we're going to know what it's worth is if you put it up in auction, and then we have comps that we can look at. How much have other bikes like it sold for? It looks to be in good condition, looks to be relatively low miles, but it's not a museum piece type of motorcycle. So this one, we're going to rate a classic out of 10. Keep it moving. All right, 2009 Yamaha FZ6, $4,500. These are extremely popular on Facebook Marketplace. Let's take a look. I have an extremely well-kept 2009 Yamaha FZ6 with very little miles on it, 4,300. That is nothing for an FZ6. It's been garage kept, pampered with synthetic fluids from AMSOIL, and is in excellent condition. I am the second owner. The first owner sold it with about 200 miles on it as he had to move cross-country. The only visible scratches are on the crankcase cover. Was done by a previous owner, and he bought a replacement cover but never put it on, and neither did I. It's not very noticeable. So the logistics is cash only, and you must have a M-Class license. If you choose to test drive it, it requires full funds to be handed over, and if anything happens on the test drive, the bike is yours. I don't know why we're talking like a butler at a murder mystery party, but that's a clean-looking FZ6, baby! Very clean-looking FZ6. What year is this? 2009? Okay, this is confusing to me. I think at this point, the FZ6 did not use any sort of derivation of the R6's frame, but it did use a detuned R6 motor, as far as I know. Right side up forks. This is a bespoke frame for this FZ6. This was right before they did the whole revamp of like FZ07, FZ09. Where they introduced the two new engines. They had the triple and the parallel twin. They phased out the four-cylinder for their street offerings like this. But these are still pretty good. This may very well be the absolute cleanest FZ6 I've ever seen in my life. And the murder mystery butler writing is starting to make sense. We got a Porsche in the background, stone facade in front of the house, higher tax bracket, real estate it's looking like. Nice, well-kept yard, manicured. I think you know where I'm going with this, right? This bike is going to college. Let's just put it that way. Grab bars for passengers, stock exhaust. The old Yamaha pumpkin lights, baby. They ran these for like 20 years. They only very recently updated these, and they still flop around. They still pop out of their housing under normal riding conditions, and it is so frustrating. Look at the front end on this thing. That is hideous. This is not aged well at all. This looks like a really weird Batman type of bike. I do not like the front end on this thing at all. This is a weird looking front end on the FZ6. Paint's looking nice. Dash is looking clean. This is the cleanest FZ6 I have ever seen in my life. I've never seen a cleaner FZ6 than this. If this was an FZ1, I'd scoop it up immediately. FZ1 with 4,000 miles, perfect condition like that would be so sick. FZ6 isn't as well sought after. I think this motorcycle, it's one of those things where a lot of people buy it just as your classic clapped out squid missile sort of bike. So I mean, how much was this? Like $4,200 you want it? $4,500. You probably talk them down to like $4,000 flat. That's a great deal for $4,000. I mean, that's a great motorcycle for $4,000 if you can get it done. Clean paint, looks good. What is there to say? I mean, that's it. I mean, I've never seen an FZ6 that's this nice come up for sale. So if you're in the area, go and get it. We're going to rate it a 9 out of 10. Moving on. All right, we got a bit of a weird one. 2024 Yamaha R half for 212 cc's, $2,000. What the hell is going on here? $6,300 or 6,300 miles. Selling my custom build 212 cc Yamaha R half. The bike has a Predator Ghost 212 cc engine, Nibby 22mm carb, Nibby quick turn throttle, new tires front and rear, hydraulic disc brakes front and rear, LED headlights, LED taillights. I'm 6 foot and can ride it comfortably. This is a super pocket bike. Top speed is 70 plus miles per hour. If you're interested, hit me up. Let's take a look. Look how adorable it is. The R half. Someone really went the country mile with this thing, huh? Look at that. Look at the cute little tire, the cute little undertail exhaust, the yellow. 6 foot and you can ride this, huh? Look at where the peg is, though, back here. That's very odd. That's not a normal ergonomic setup. Oh, look how cute it looks next to the yellow R6 that someone probably going to say, $15,000, no low balls. I know what I got. They don't make them anymore. This is the best bike ever, bro. Don't even at me, dude. This is such an adorable, cute little setup, dude. 70 miles per hour would be absolutely diabolical on this motorcycle. That would be a heinous speed to try to take this at. But the real question is, would this be safer at 50 miles per hour over something like a Janus? I think so. Look at the frame on this bad boy. Look at the dash in here. This looks like old school Ducati race bike, dude. I think this thing's more serious than we can possibly conjure up. I mean, a 212cc motor and something this small. I mean, yeah, that's kind of scary, huh? I don't know. I'd love to ride one. I think it'd be fun. It'd be like, Satan's Ovale, basically, but be kind of cool, kind of cool. All right, for novelty factor, for fun factor, very fun, interesting motorcycle. Let's rate it a 8 out of 10. Keep it moving. 2017 Yamaha Scrambler 900 up for grabs, $54.99. That's way too much money for that. 2,222 miles. Stealership, too lazy / cheap to write a description. Okay, great. Thanks for letting us know. I guess this is a used bike they got on trade that they are trying to hawk at a dealership. This bike is really bad. So the Scrambler 900 that Yamaha did, they don't actually make this motorcycle anymore, but this was based on the Bolt Cruiser motorcycle. They then raised the rear end, they changed it around a little bit, and they sold it as a quote-unquote Scrambler. The Bolt was never a very good motorcycle, and the Scrambler 900 is not a very good motorcycle. It's heavy, underpowered, it cannot really do any Scrambler sorts of things. It's just really a styling exercise and not a very good one at that. You can actually see from here, very limited ground clearance, big lumpy cruiser engine. This thing, I've never liked them. I always thought they were a weird half-assed attempt at Yamaha just like jumping on the Scrambler craze of the late 2010s, mid-2010s to late 2010s, and I never liked these bikes. I always thought they were weird. I always thought they didn't work quite right, and I just don't think anyone should buy them. So we're going to rate this one an avoid out of 10 and move on. Last but not least, 1973 Yamaha DT3 DT250 for $2,900. Classic DT3, still has the 1977 license plate. Haven't ridden for a year, so it won't start and needs the normal work done. Has the front fender. I also have the original 1973 title. Only serious offers will be considered. If you know your classic Yamahas, you know how rare this is. Open to offers. Let's take a look. $2,800. Ah, that's a beautiful bike, huh? Not to harp on the Janus too much, but that's just been percolating in my mind as a motorcycle that is attempting to do something that this bike does very well. So I think that if you're looking for the kind of like ultimate bare bones two-wheeled motorcycling experience, something like this, even in the more modern era, like a dual sport style motorcycle, to me fits the bill perfectly. They're capable, they're versatile. This one is beautiful, it's simple. I just feel like there's a charm and an interest in a small 250 like this, an old school enduro. You know, it's not going to ride that great. It's not going to stop that great. It's not going to go that great. It's not going to handle particularly well. But when you kick this thing on and you just, I don't know, man. I think that there's such a charm and fun about something like this. You talk about mechanical simplicity. A kickstart 50-plus-year-old enduro model that's this pretty and this just like the gas tank shape and like the color and the simple bars and the dash. Like, to me, this is a pure, beautiful motorcycling form. Again, not to harp on the Janus too much, but a rigid rear end, like no front end, like just a Chinese motor, like no provenance, no history, no heritage. Just that's a silly waste of money, and for $10,000, it's ridiculous, right? But you know, think about something like this, something that you could spend $2,900 on. If it runs and rides pretty well, which it doesn't because it needs some work, as the gentleman said, but maybe it just needs a new battery. Well, I don't even know if it needs a battery because it's the kickstart. But you know, just doing the small touch-ups on this, new spark plug, get the thing running right, like a classic Yamaha engine in it, like actually has history and pedigree. This is really cool, man. I mean, look at this seat out of the dash here. Look how skinny this is and how this is set up. It's cool, man. This is just cool. Like, this is the type of cool that I think a lot of people that would buy like a new Scrambler or a Janus or whatever, a new Sportster, this is the charm that I think you're really looking for, you know? You pull up with something like this, most people would not bat an eye. They'd be like, oh, it's just some motorcycle. But real enthusiasts would see something like this and be like, that is so sweet, dude. Like, you got drum brakes on this thing, old school Yamaha 250. Like, you just know that a real deal enthusiast, like someone who really loves this and is about this, bought this motorcycle and used it. So very cool listing. It's rare you see something from the 70s that is this nice come up for sale. You don't see it that often anymore. So really cool listing. Happy to see it. Going to rate it a 9 out of 10. And that's going to wrap up our show for today. Hope you enjoyed the Yamaha special on Yami Noob, as the name implies. Hope you guys enjoyed, had some fun with it, and make sure you stay subscribed and check out the next upload. Appreciate it. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.